Hi, my name is Nicholas Furtado,
And my name is Joey White.
and our project was a personal cloud server running on Raspberry Pi using a service called Nextcloud. Nextcloud is an open source personal cloud platform. One of the reasons we chose to use Nextcloud over other services like OwnCloud was because it's free. It offers a collaborative platform, so that basically means that we didn't have to share an account. We each had our own account with our own password. Another reason was there's multiple different apps available to install on this service, like auditing and logging,
And
and
two-factor authentication.
yeah, things like that. Um, Another reason is your data is secure and it's under your control, which means it's not stored on some Microsoft or Google server out there. It's stored right now on my Raspberry Pi right next to my desk. And here I have a short video of me accessing this on my phone. And as you can see, my Wi-Fi is turned off. So that means it is accessible outside of my local area network. And here I'm just going to log in, and you can see we do have the padlock. It is a secure connection. So this is the setup that we're working with. 4 hard drives connected in RAID to the Raspberry Pi 4.
So what is RAID? RAID, or redundant array of disks, lets you increase your speed and reliability by spreading data across multiple drives. Why RAID 5? RAID 5 allows you, RAID 5 specifically gives us the ability to have improved performance over a regular drive. And it also gives us parity across all drives. So if any one of them go out, we can just rebuild the data based on the other living drives. So why do RAID at all? Well, the Pi that we have, it gave us very little space to work with to start off with. So we could have, we have 4 hard drives that we have, so we could have just set them up, all together, which would have given us a 1,200 gigabytes. But 4 drives, failure is pretty high, so it needs to be fast and it needs to be reliable. So RAID 5 gives us the ability to have parity and mirroring, which means that if one goes out, if any one of them goes out, we just bring it back. We still have 800 gigabytes of blazing fast storage.
And then, what was our greatest crash and burn? What would you say our greatest crash and burn was?
I'd say probably the hard drives, just getting
Yes,
them powered.
it was a headache. So this was our setup to begin with. That's all 4 hard drives connected to a USB powered hub, and they're connected through SATA to USB cables. This was all USB 3.0, so we were trying to get the speed with USB 3.0. But while we would be working on this, it would suddenly say that the drives were ejected without safely ejecting them, and then the whole Raspberry Pi would freeze up. And it did take us some time before we figured out that the issue we were having was that these drives didn't have enough power
Yeah,
to going to them.
we had to reset the RAID a couple of times.
Yes, a few times. And then, whoops, that wasn't supposed to come up, but what was our greatest success? So, coming from the last talking point, I would say that our greatest success was getting the drives powered. So, this was kind of a last ditch effort at getting them powered. What you see here is actually a docking station for hard drives. And it does have a piece that goes on top that has a fan to cool them as well. But once we had set this up, we haven't had any issues with the drives powering off or shutting off and freezing up the system. And then the second thing was we did get a certificate, a SSL certificate, and HTTPS working. At first, we had set it up, it was just a self signed certificate, and we did not think that that was good enough. It gave us a
Yeah.
warning every time we tried to access it. And so you can see that the connection is encrypted, and that was a great success.
Would we choose to choose? Would we choose this project again? Well, we would choose this project again. I'd say so because it taught us a lot
Yeah,
about Linux file systems and directories. I also learned a lot about MDAM or multiple
yeah,
disk and device management. It's a tool that let me basically create and manage our drives.
yeah. I agree. I would definitely choose this project again. It's something that I've never done before. I've never set up DNS to configure the domain to reroute to the name that we chose.
Mhm.
And we are in the other class together, the Intro to Linux class. So I am just now getting into learning about Linux as of this semester. So I do think it was a big win in learning the system.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then, what are the next steps for our project? I would have to say it would just be to upgrade the system that we have in place. So right now we just have four 2.5-inch hard disk drives, 300 gigabytes each. We could definitely increase performance if we added some solid state drives instead. And then maybe in the future, even just migrate the system off of a Raspberry Pi to an actual server, like a Linode server. That would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And then this is a small video here about teamwork. So I'm going to let Joey talk about the teamwork part a little bit because we actually haven't met up to work on this since all of the issues with the pandemic going on.
Yeah. So yeah. So we actually found teamwork to be very easy because even with all of the COVID drama happening, we're still able to work collaboratively from our own homes using Dataplicity. And basically, Dataplicity it kind of let us like SSH into the machine without actually having to do SSH. Um, Basically, as soon as you log in, uh, you got to change your account to Pi, but it lets you do everything that as if you were right there working on the drives.
Yeah, I used it myself too while I was at work. Uh, because we had the issues with the drives not working. There were a few times where we wiped them and started over on the raid to try and get it working, only to have them eject again. But
Mm.
once we did get them working, I actually used Dataplicity while I was at work to install just the Nextcloud service while I was at work. It was pretty cool. And then knowing what we know now, what would we do next? What do you think we would do knowing what we know now?
Probably figure out if our Pi has enough power to power the hard drives.
Yeah, I think that was our biggest issue is we plugged all these drives in thinking it was just going to work from what we'd seen online and other people trying this. They
Mhm.
said they'd used powered USB hubs, but that was the biggest failure. So I would say that we would definitely have to research more
Absolutely, yeah.
because we were a little lost when it came to what was happening with the drives just ejecting randomly. But once we did the research and found out that people were having this issue and got the tools that we needed to power the hard drives, everything worked out great. And then I'm going to go to Discord and Joey, if you could share your screen really quick.
Hmm. All right, you see everything?
I don't.
You don't.
Maybe I have to stop
Oh,
sharing.
wait. Share.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Got it?
I do see Discord. You might want to minimize that. So
All right.
this is our system here. This is our service. You can see up at top it's piCloud290.com. And we have a little padlock there which shows that we are secure. That's an actual certificate that we
Mhm.
got from a website called Gandhi.net, which gives you domain names. They do SSL certifications and stuff like that.
All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and log in here.
It's a little slow because it's running on the Raspberry Pi, but
Just a little bit. And
yeah.
then we'll go to the shared photos.
And Thank you for the time, and feel free to ask any questions.